Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday Eve to you. I'm Rob Evans. Welcome to Daybreak Plus. We're breaking down all the news you may have missed overnight, and we're going deep into the matters that actually matter to you. And what's mattering to a lot of people in Central Texas right now and over the next couple days, the NCAA Final Four. March Madness moving into April. Tomorrow, Texas women's basketball and South Carolina will square off for the fourth time this season. Two teams, of course, very familiar with one another. Longhorns going to have their hands full on Friday. Here's head coach Vic Schaefer.
You know, they just really jump out at you. So we're going to have our hands full at every position. And that's what makes great teams, right? You can't bring help from anywhere. You can't come off anywhere. You can't say, well, I don't have to guard that one, or I don't have to do that with that one, or we don't have to worry about that. You're going to have to guard them all, and you're going to have to guard them all well.
And again, the Final Four game set for tomorrow at 6 p.m. You can watch it on ESPN. And the KVUE sports team, they're already there right now in Tampa. They're going to have coverage as the Longhorns continue their NCAA tournament run. Been a while since they've been at the Final Four. Congrats to them. All right, Austin ISD is facing a big budget deficit for next school year, $110 million. So to cut into that deficit, the district has cut contracts, had a hiring freeze, and now school consolidations are on the table. That means the districts would merge smaller schools trying to save money. Talking about elementary schools that have less than 500 students, middle schools that have less than 750 students. These are the ones that could be considered. The district could save $43 million if they move forward with that. Here's AISD's Communications Director, Christina Nguyen.
I mean, we haven't received state funding increases since 2019. And so right now we're just in a really tough place that we have to be having these conversations. And
not only has the state not given them more money, recapture is taking more than half of their income. So they're down $100 million, but the state actually has taken $900 million from them. So think about that. AISD tells KVUE the goal is to identify any schools impacted in the fall, have the board vote in December. If it all goes through, consolidations could happen in the 2026-2027 school year. And we're learning more about a recent arrest made by immigration enforcement in Hays County. According to an ICE spokesperson, 47 people were arrested who were, they say, illegally in the country. 25 men, 13 women, and 9 children. Authorities say these arrests occurred while looking for members of a Venezuelan gang. It's unclear how many of these arrests were actually gang members. We're told they are, however, in ICE custody pending immigration proceedings. Now, Hays County-based advocacy group Mano Amiga, which deals with issues involving immigration, released this statement about the mass arrest. Partly it says, quote, these powerful institutions must be held accountable for the disruption they cause, especially when their tactics cast a wide net and leave families and minors caught in the crosshairs. 704, the Austin Police Union has filed a lawsuit against the Austin Police Chief, Lisa Davis. Union President Michael Bullock says officers recently learned a new directive requiring them to disclose materials that are protected by attorney-client privilege during investigations. Now, he argues this is unlawful, it interferes with legal rights, and it could affect the officer's defense. The union is calling for the rule to be paused until a judge reviews it. Bullock also warns that private lawyer-client conversations could become public due to unsealed personnel files. Take a listen.
Or if the department choose to use it in arbitration, which are public hearings, or in a disciplinary memo, which is public, right? All of those things are avenues by which this information could be made public, which again is why we are very concerned about it.
Now, we don't know what caused the department to implement this new rule, but the city of Austin says it will comment once it is formally served. 7:05 right now. Let's get a look at weather and traffic with Grace and Hannah. Grace, first off, were you giggling? I don't know what's funny. It's hot and nasty out there. Do something.
I know, it is so nasty out there, Rob. We're still dealing with hot and humid conditions for another couple of days. I'm so sorry for it. But as we head into next week, I think everyone is going to like the forecast a whole lot more. So looking outside right now, yeah, you're seeing those low-level clouds, those misty conditions. Visibility at the surface isn't too bad. We'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, it's warm as you step out the door. 74. 74 degrees at the airport and Camp Mabry. Humidity 82% and dew points just below those 70s at 68 degrees. Visibility across the region, not too bad, especially if you're closer to the surface there. I just used our tower cam just to show you how gross it looks out there. Austin and the airport, looking good for visibility, and then Pflugerville at 5 miles there, so not too bad either. Giddings and Horseshoe Bay as well as LaGrange, those visibility numbers are a bit lower, but really not too bad. We start to get a little shaky and things get bad traffic-wise when we get below about 2 miles of visibility. So not seeing any issues there. Radar also not seeing any issues. However, we are not the ones seeing the issues today. It is the rest of, honestly, the United States and even Texas. So up towards San Angelo and spreading up towards the Dallas region, we have a severe thunderstorm watch in place. And even further north, you can see just to the west of Dallas there, we've got an array of severe thunderstorms moving across that region just to the west of I-35 there. Also across the rest of the United States, we're just on the tail end of this cold front that is still moving across areas of the east this morning. So Tennessee, a ton of flood warnings out there. And of course, even more severe thunderstorm warnings as you head up towards Kentucky as well as the Appalachian Mountains. So rain chances here are not going to be gone just yet. We still have to deal with the edge of that cold front as we head into our Friday and our Saturday. And it is going to bring some cooler weather and some drier weather as we head towards next week. So waking up tomorrow, we still got muggy, scattered showers, all the humid conditions that we've seen already this week. That's still going to be going on for tomorrow morning and potentially for portions of tomorrow afternoon too. I do think we'll see some breaks of sunshine for Friday afternoon and really warm things up a little bit, giving those storms an extra boost of energy out there. By 11:30 Friday night, you can see the timestamp here. We start to watch the hill country areas for a few storms popping off, but it won't be until 2 a.m. Saturday morning, so this may wake you up on Saturday morning. We do see some stronger, very heavy rainfall move into our region, which of course could be some severe storms as well. Into the 5:30 hour, you can see most of that moisture is going to move off to the east, and it won't be until about 12 p.m. and onward that we see mostly dry conditions in the Austin area. So our Friday storm outlook, like I said, most of this rainfall will be early Saturday morning. This outlook from the National Weather Service actually includes 7 a.m. Friday to 7 a.m. on Saturday. So that's why you see, Friday labeled there, but really this is for both time periods. So Austin, as well as out towards the hill country areas, will be in the slight risk for severe activity. The biggest risk factors with this that we're noting so far is going to be the potential for some damaging winds, but the greatest risk factor may be actually the possibility of some hail in our region. So we're sitting at about a 15% chance, and then up towards the Dallas region, mostly off to the east portions of the state, they actually have a significant risk for big hail. So anywhere above like ping pong ball size is what they're expecting over there. Now here at home, again, we are going to see that active weather only until about midday on Saturday. Then things clear out and we cool things down for Sunday. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of next week are looking way, way better. Lots of sunshine in the forecast and temperatures really sunny and 75. You can't get much better than that, can you, Hannah?
Oh, that is looking gorgeous. Thank you so much, Grace. And a good Thursday morning to you fine folks of Central Texas. It is 7:09. We've had a couple hiccups here and there. I wanted to give you an update. We had a pretty serious crash a little bit earlier, really on the frontage road, I-35 northbound at Woodward Street, heading towards downtown Austin. I'm happy to let you know that is cleared up. So really kind of some smooth travel heading into that downtown area. Let's take a look across the rest of the map. Still looking pretty good as far as crashes go. Everything's been cleared out pretty quickly. So this is an incident from a little bit earlier in East Austin, not too far from Walter E. Long Park, where we have our wonderful rodeo every year. And this is on Decker Lane at FM 969. Which is always kind of a trouble spot, isn't it? So that's still going on there. And then aside from that, the rest of the map looking pretty good. Here's your drive times if you are heading out the door. 40 minutes for you, Buda. If you're coming in from Buda, Kyle, San Marcos, all clear with no active crashes right now, but just kind of some of your typical stop and go. And I will tell you, you're not moving fast at 23 miles per hour, are you? Round Rockers, if you're coming southbound to visit us here in Austin, looking good as long as you can get to 183. And then your typical stop and go approaching the DKR Stadium. Stadium in the Miller area. That's 21 minutes right now at 36 miles per hour. We've been having a really good morning on Mopac. It hasn't gone evil on us yet. And that is southbound from Lewis Henna to downtown. You got a beautiful shot at 15 minutes and 61 miles per hour. We had some early morning construction. That's wrapped up for the most part. And look at that, 5 minutes if you're traveling northbound, 290 stretching into the Cesar Chavez area. Heading over that beautiful Pennybacker we love so much, under 10 minutes right now at 54 miles per hour. That's from Mopac to Pennybacker. And then heading out from 183 to Pennybacker, we've got 6 minutes at 48 miles per hour. Taking a look right now at 183, under 10 minutes for us as well, which is great. We had kind of a rough start of the week there, and that's from Lewis Henna to Loop 360. And then we've got 183 northbound from Ben White to I-35, 6 minutes at 50 miles per hour on this Thursday morning. Back to you, Rob.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. Now the severe storms and extensive damage after tornadoes in the Midwest and in the South. Forecasters are warning now of a once-in-a-generation storm. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the latest.
Overnight catastrophic damage reported as severe storms slam the central U.S.
Oh, it's still on the ground.
A tornado emergency in northeastern Arkansas. Powerful twisters destroying homes, knocking out power to thousands. One man capturing this video in Lake City, one of the hardest hit areas.
You know, the whole time I'm just sitting there praying that it's not hitting any of my neighbors' homes or our school. It came fairly close to the school.
Residents fleeing to their storm shelters as the tornado barreled through the area.
I turned the corner around that tornado shelter, and there it is, just coming straight for us. It's just getting larger and larger.
In Missouri, an EF1 tornado, winds nearing 100 miles an hour, causing widespread destruction in the town of Nevada. Homes and businesses reduced to rubble. Outside St. Louis, this car flipped upside down. Farther east, severe storms hitting parts of Indiana. These drivers in Indianapolis trapped in high water. More rain and flash flooding is on the way this week, expected to stretch from Texas to Michigan.
Nearly half of flash flood deaths in the next 4 days will come from within vehicles, so please turn around, don't drown.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Never know what is under that water when it comes to the roads. Well, President Trump's new auto tariffs are set to take effect. The Trump administration imposed the highest tariffs on America's trading partners in a while. Actually, more than a century it's been. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio has more on the potential impact on American families.
Overnight, markets reacting sharply as President Trump announces sweeping 10% tariffs on nearly all imports, covering more than 180 countries, including 60 of some of America's closest trading partners that will face even steeper tariffs. A 34% tariff on all imports from China, a 25% tariff on products from South Korea, and a 20% tariff on goods from the European Union.
This is one of the most important days, in my opinion, in American history. It's our declaration of economic independence.
President Trump praising the tariffs, saying they will incentivize American manufacturing. Democrats blasting the move, saying Trump's politics are about to make things a lot worse.
Donald Trump and House Republicans promised to lower the high cost of living. But costs aren't going down, they are going up. Republicans are crashing the economy in real time and driving us toward a recession.
Most economists also warn consumers will be paying the cost as prices climb on everything from clothes to technology, cars, and groceries.
These tariffs are across the board. They're going to touch everything from going to the grocery store to going out to restaurants to even having to go to places like the movie theater and trying to have a little time off, because everywhere you go, there's some aspect that they have to import to do that.
Many countries across Asia and Europe have vowed to respond. And starting today, the president imposing a 25% tariff on all cars and auto parts coming into the country. One business owner in Wisconsin sharing how this could impact customers in the future.
Their bill ultimately is going to be higher, and it's not getting us any more money. It's just taking from the customer and, passing it through.
Canada and Mexico, who were among Trump's first targets, were notably left off the list for any additional tariffs, but the previous duties remain in place. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Well, every week on a KVUE Daybreak, Hannah Rucker features a different child in Texas foster care in the hopes of helping them be adopted. This week, we get to meet Enoch, who enjoys cooking.
One thing about Enoch, he brings the personality and he brings the spice.
You know the saying, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't season.
I haven't heard that one.
He said if you ain't sneezing, you ain't seasoning. Enoch is a 14-year-old boy in Texas foster care who has really been through a lot so far in his young life, but has recently found himself feeling quite comfortable in the kitchen.
The pan do the work. There you go, you got it. Nice. Forward and back.
Accompanied by Texas chef Dylan McShann, the two met up at the K&N Appliance Store on Burnett Road in Austin, and they kindly let them cook in one of their kitchens.
Do some sauteed shrimp with the elote salad. Talking to you earlier, one of your favorite foods was seafood, especially Mexican food.
The two really had a great rhythm going as they prepared the meal together, and Enoch really opened up as to why he has such a newfound interest in the culinary world. Okay.
Back to my past, I grew up with not having that much food. So coming back up, I remember my past, so I just love food. I have a good passion for it, clearly, as you see.
Enoch says he's never really had a true sense of family, and he is hoping that can change.
Because I never really had a family. I don't know my regular parents. I don't know my biological one. I don't even know half of my family. I had two little sisters, but last time I saw them was when I was 7. And it was on their birthday, and I never saw them again.
It's a heartbreaking story right there. Enoch also has an interest in fashion. He loves sneakers. He loves lifting weights. To learn more about him or to learn how to support him, you can look for the story on KVUE.com/foreverfamilies. All right, we'll leave you this morning with something to talk about, something to think about, something that you probably ought to look at yourself in the mirror and make sure you're not doing, all right? When it comes to youth sports, let the kids play. It's not about you. And when you don't do that, this is what happens. A fight at a youth roller hockey game in New Jersey. It led some adults to get arrested and actually charged with crimes. This is just unbelievable what we're showing our kids. Andrew Dimbert has that story.
This morning, 3 adults are charged with assault and disorderly conduct after throwing punches in the middle of this youth hockey game. It started when a brawl erupted between several players in Egg Harbor Township, New Jersey. About a minute into the fight, several adults enter the melee, one falling to the ground, a woman swiftly jumping on top of him, throwing punches.
I mean, there's only 2 refs out there. They can only do so much when a total of 2 teams are out there. And then you start to see the parents, which the video doesn't show, but the parents were yelling some vulgar things. And then they started to come into the court. It seemed they went right and engaged with other parents, and that's when they began fighting. And then it was just basically complete chaos.
Parents behaving badly at youth sporting events is on the rise. One survey found parents now being blamed for nearly 40% of cases involving bad sportsmanship, followed by coaches, then fans, with players causing less than 10%.
I know this is a small percentage of people that are doing this, but there are too many of them, and it's happening too often. So I'm just out here to tell you that I'm saying the parents are no longer invited. If you can't handle your emotions, if you can't be responsible, if you can't act like an adult at your child's sporting event, you don't belong.
Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
Mind-blowing. Look at what you're doing, what you're showing your kids to do. Come on. Let the kids play. All right, that is it for Daybreak Plus. Tell us what you think about that. What do you think about whatever you're thinking about in general? 512-459-9442. Again, 512-459-9442 if you have something you want to talk about, a topic you like to talk about, something that's on your mind. You can also message me on socials at Rob Evans TV on Insta, Facebook, or X. And stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE+. Goodbye, everybody.